Christmas cards with no scraps? Sure, come on in and let me show you how.
Hello everybody, it's Julia Layered with Senior Susie Stamps, and today I wanted us to make some Christmas cards out of a pack of paper that I got recently from Hobby Lobby called Hollies and Blooms. And I want us to make a stack cut shuffle 6x6 4-sheet wonder that makes 8 cards and has 0 scraps. I got it said right. Yay! So come on and let's get started. So this is that pack of paper, and I found it at Hobby Lobby at 50% off. So this pack, instead of being $6, was $3. And I needed it like a hole in the head. But, you know, it's cute paper. And there's 3 sheets of 16 different designs. Let me just flip through it real quick so you can kind of see it, because you can see how versatile and nice size images these all are. So I have used, well, first of all, I pulled out one of all 16 designs, and I have made 16 cards out of 2 sets of 4 6x6 pages. And so I have 2 more sets of 4 here, and that will complete the set of cards that I'm going to make out of this paper for Christmas cards this year. Now I think we can see both of those images okay. The first cut is going to be to cut off a 1/2 inch. Now on these stack cut and shuffle cards, there's a couple important things, and that is the direction of the paper, and this is going to be the stack and shuffle part of the cut apart. So I want that to be vertical. So I need to cut it. You just need to be careful when you cut which way your paper is going. The rest of these are overall designs, so they're fine. So I'm going to cut it this way, and I'm going to cut that 1/2 inch off first, because it is easier to cut a 1/2 inch off a 6-inch piece than to cut a 1/2 inch off of a 1-inch piece, which you end up with. So in this case, it's the first cut, and I'll set those aside. And then this is the second cut, which would be 2 by 5.5. And I want to make sure that that directional piece is going in the right direction. I probably ought to have it up on the front, shouldn't I? That would make better sense, Julia. Okay, so it's going to be 2 by 5.5, so I need to cut this one at 2. And there we go. So we're looking at this and this, and then cut number 3, I'm going to take a 1/2 inch off, so that this final stack is going to be 4 inches by 5 inches. Now the last cut that I want to cut is a 1/4 inch to make this 3 3/4, and you know now 3 3/4 by 5 is one of the standard 1/4 inch layers for an A2 size card, and that's why we're cutting this little section off, and we will use them. So I want to make sure that my paper stack is good, and then I'm going to cut it to 3 3/4. And there's that piece now, and these little pieces. And then the final cut is to cut this 1/2 inch strip here down from 6 inches to 4.5. There. So that's this first cut for this particular pattern. Hey, it's Julia, and I'm breaking in right now because I wanted to show you these tags that I had used on these cards, and you'll see them coming up in the video. But when I was editing it last night, I thought, oh, you know, maybe I should go ahead and show that complete set of tags, because this is something that I picked up a couple of years ago at an after Christmas sale at Walmart. And you know, these are just little gift tags, to from tags that you would put on a Christmas package, and I think they make really nice little Christmas card focal points. So you'll see some of these, and on some of them I've taken just a plain white piece of cardstock and mounted them up and then trimmed the dog-ear corners, and then I'll go back in and maybe add a little embellishment to go with that, and perhaps a snowflake or something like that to go on top of all of these card bases that we're looking at today. So keep your eye out and look for little embellishments like this when they go on sale after Christmas. These came from Hobby Lobby. This is the one I made. These little snowflakes I think came from Hobby Lobby 2 or 3 years ago. Don't know where that came from, but I suspect it probably came from Hobby Lobby. I just found some twine this last week that was red, green, and white, and it came in a set with these other colors, so I've been using some of that. I have some little small glitter bows. I have some hand-tied bows, and so you'll see all of that kind of thing on these cards, which makes a simple one sheet wonder type card into something that looks really pretty, especially in a set, because all of these cards are going out in a set. So let's get back to card making. Now these are the pieces that we're going to cut for the shuffle. To make it easy for today, I wanted to cut these in only one cut, and I'm going to cut that at let's see, these are 5, so I'm going to cut it at 3.5. I have 2 pieces of colored cardstock. They're 4 by 5.25, so they are first layer cardstock. And what we're going to do is to lay these down just like you do with a shuffle. And I have 2 other first layers in white, and so here's the shuffle. We'll just move down one, and then we'll glue these up, and this will be the card base that we'll have to go onto the top fold card that we're going to do in just a second. This concept of stack, cut, and shuffle has been around for a long time, and it's something that everybody really should have in their repertoire of card cutting, because sometimes you just need a no-brainer card that you know is going to work well, and this is one of those. Now on this one, we're going to put a little piece of ribbon, which I did not bring over. Let me go get it. And all I'm going to do is to cut the ribbon and wrap the ends around the back before I glue the card front onto the card base, because all I want is something that will cover up that little binding right there. And give us something pretty to look at. There we go. Now, I'm going to glue this onto a top fold card base. Now, there, that's better. Looks like I have a little bit of edge here I need to trim. I hand cut all my bases, and every once in a while you just have to trim one of them. Now, I'm going to set this aside and we'll keep working forward here and get these glued up. And then I'm going to show you the cards that I made, but I wanted to get this concept out to you for these cutting templates today. And show you how you can cut the 6x6 paper so that you use every bit of it when you're doing a stack and shuffle card like this. There we are. This is just a really pretty pack of paper, I think. And I have some green strips over here that were left from another project. So I'm going to cut a little 1/2-inch strip off of this and make a little band that goes all the way across that card in the seam. So it needs to be a 1/2 inch by 4 1/4. And I'm going to put that all the way across right there. There we go. And that just finishes that union of those two pieces of cardstock nicely. Use my mat here so that I can get it straight, because I'm bad this time of day about not getting things quite right. My eyes get a little tired. I'm a little late making my recording today. I had a friend come over from North Carolina, or South Carolina, I guess, and I haven't seen her for a long time, so we visited today, and I've really enjoyed her company. I've known her for, oh my goodness, 30 years now, maybe? One of the things that I have been really trying hard in my studio to do is not to have scraps left. And that's why I wanted to explore the possibility of cutting the paper so that we'll use every little bit of scrap that's left, so I don't have any scraps hanging out of this paper pack. That's one of my goals for this year. Now, I may or may not meet it every time I make cards, but I have really, really been trying hard to do that. And so far, I've been pretty successful at it. There we go. There's number 3. And then here's number 4. It's late tonight. It's almost 5 o'clock, and normally I'll do these videos about 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's strange to me to be up here making a video, but I wanted to get it done because our internet has been slow, and I've been trying to load them up the day before so that they've got plenty of time to load. We're supposed to be getting some new internet out here. I hope it will work right. Now let's see. Shall we do green? Oh, I kind of like that green. Another top fold card base. Yeah, see, I think that white layer just completely disappears on these without a little edge on them. And I think this will help with that. And you could use a green or a red, and that would be fun too. I just happen to like these broad tip Sharpies, and the ones that I have are in black. That's all of the 4 shuffle bases. So let's look at the rest of these cards and see what we're going to end up with them. So there's the 4th base. Now before we move on, let me show you some of the cards that I made with some of the shuffle bases. There's 2 different cuts. Now you remember we just cut this one at 1 1/4 inches. And here are some that I finished. This one had actually 3 cuts, one at 1 1/4, and then a cut this way and then another cut up. And here's another one that same way. This one I cut at angles. Here's another one. There's one. And here's another one. So those are the 8 cards that were the shuffle part of this template, cut in 2 other optional ways. Okay, now let's get on to these. And I have a white base, and I'm going to cut it to 4 by 5 1/4, and this is a 1/4 inch strip then. Now I'm going to lay these down on my card. Front, right like that. And then I'm going to put this little 1/4 inch between them just as a spacer, just so I can get my layers going in the right direction here, and that they don't get cattywampus on me. And then I'll move that up. I think we'll do the alternate the blue ones and then end up with the white one. And then I'll move it up one more time. This is a card sketch from OWH, and it is sketch number 145. So you know, it's not something I came up with on my own. There we go. But I do have an example finished card for you in just a second. I just wanted to show you how this card goes together. And what I will do with this is to trim another 1/4 inch off of it, and that gives me just a little bit of an inside adornment. And I'm going to take it off of this side over here. I got sticky on my fingers. Imagine that. It's either ink or sticky, isn't it? Okay. So this is 4. I'm going to cut this to 3 3/4, and I'm going to cut it to 5, so that makes it a 1/4 inch card layer. There we go. And this strip will go on the inside of this card, but I definitely want to black the edge on this one. And I'm going to go all the way down with it. And let's see, we'll put this on a side fold card and put it down like that. And then this piece will go on the inside as just a little piece of trim that pulls the front of the card to the inside of the card. Let me get my tweezers. 2 for 1. Okay, we're going to put it, oops, we're going to put it in the same direction here. Just right like this. Now, let me show you this finished card. I have a stack of them over here, and here it is. Isn't it cute? Now this one went up on a green layer, so I didn't need to black that edge. Just made a little center adornment for that. 'Tis the season. Added some holly and colorized them, and did the same thing on the inside. So there's that style card. Now there's 5 out of this stack. Let's see. Now, these pieces over here will go up onto colored card bases. And let me get those. Now, on these, we're just going to put these on the front of these, and they go all the way down, just like that.
Okay, so I just realized we're going to get 9 cards, not 8, out of this template. Well, okay, I can't count.
And I put them at, let's see, about 3/4 of an inch. There we go. So there's going to be 4 cards just like this, and I'm going to use these little strips when I put the tag down like this. Then I'm going to put a little corresponding strip in underneath it over here and trim it back just a little smidge, about that far. And that just helps to finish that card out. See here? Right there. So that's the way these 4 will look when they're through. Now let me show you the 4 that I have done. And there they are. And they use the commercial tag and some embellishments and a little piece of cut paper to go with the tag itself. Except this one. I had this big stand-up snowflake on, and I used some dazzles on it to finish it out. But there's those 4 cards. This treatment here will go on the inside, and let me show you an example of that. Here's one. Okay. Now, on these little pieces, there's a couple things you can do with that. And I have an example of that also. And here's one where I've made just a little tiny tag by cutting some tails in. And you all know how to do this. You just cut your little V notch in. And then put it with the coordinating paper on the inside. And this one I used another strip of paper and a snowflake, and that pulled the front into the back, you see. Another way you can do these is to take a little notch up off the bottom like this, and make a little embellishment tag for the inside like that. So now that uses that complete set of 6x6 paper, with exception of the little itsy bitsy pieces that I have cut off. And these cards will all go out. Let's see, there's 16 of them here, and I'll have 16 more, so it'll be a 32 card set that will go out to one of my local donations. So here's the close-up of the template that we used today, and pay attention to the cut numbers, because this is cut 1, cut 2, cut 3, cut 4, and cut 5. This template will be over on the Facebook page if you want to go and take a closer look at it in a still, or you can take a screenshot and use it however you like to. But this uses every little tiny piece of paper on this 6x6, except for the little tiny cutoffs that we did today. So I hope you have a great week, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.